We're reading Esther and we lost Esther. All right, let's get our backup recording. Do you hear my fans or no?
This conference will now be recorded.
Actually, I don't care if you hear it or not. It's too hot today. I'm not turning off the fan.
We don't hear it.
Okay, great. Yeah. It's a 24-volt car fan. I'm running at 12 volts, so it should be pretty quiet. All right.
Yeah, it's so hot and humid.
Yes.
We've been having earthquakes.
It's crazy. Crazy hot. Did you guys know on March 8th it hit 50 degrees here?
50 degrees?
Yeah, on March 8th.
My
Isn't that insane?
gosh.
It's like when I was in Dubai, I think it was like 40 something. You know, and it was August or whatever. Crazy hot. And no humidity there. It's like, oh. Okay, so let me.
Did you feel the earthquake the last couple of days?
No, I didn't. I usually feel them even when they're far away. I can usually tell, but maybe I was sleeping or something. Oh,
Yeah, it was 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was one of them was in the middle of the day.
Goodness. Well, the last couple of days I've been sleeping in the day. I was ill, so maybe I slept through it.
Yeah.
Goodness. Well, so we've got earthquakes. Remember, it's only if three things come that it necessarily means it's judgment. A lot of times people think, oh, the volcano went off. Is God judging Philippines? Or, oh, there's an earthquake. You know, the sages say only if three things happen. You know, like, for example, you get invaded, and there's a hurricane, and there's an earthquake, right? Or there's disease, and earthquake, and invasion, or whatever. Then you know it's judgment when it comes in threes. But other than that, it could be judgment, might not be. Nobody knows. Okay, so let's get started. So if you guys saw, I have the first 5 chapters uploaded. I did yesterday, just kind of not much planning, haphazardly recorded the first 5 chapters of Esther, reading and translating. The only one that got messed up is for some reason about 2/3 of the way through in chapter 2, the screen goes black. I'm not sure what happened. I think my tablet went to sleep or something, so I don't know. But the rest are okay, and I don't have time to fix that one unless we bang out the other ones fast today. So let's see how much we can get through of chapter 6 together. We'll be doing this. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Oh, sure.
We're very lucky.
Baruch Hashem.
Appreciate.
Baruch Hashem. Thanks for that. You're very welcome. Yeah, I want you guys to be able to do the mitzvah, you know, so it's a lot easier if you at least have something you can follow along with. Great. So, and Esther is such a cool book, too. So, okay, so here we go. Chapter 6. Actually, we'll say, אבינו מלכנו תודה לך על כל תלמודי שיש פה עכשיו, כי אני רצון כי תמלא את פי אדוני בבקשה את רוח הקודש עכשיו, כי אני יכול לדבר רק כי אתה רוצה. לא לי ולך יהי כל הכבוד אדוני בזכות ישוע המשיח. Okay, so let's get started. So Esther chapter 6, verse 1, yay. And look, we have a nice little pink highlighting as we go over the words. And what you're looking at, this is the text. The first 5 chapters were the BHS, that's the Biblia, Hebraica, Stuttgartensia. That's the leading critical apparatus, critical text. But the upcoming winner, the one that's going to take it over, is the Biblia, Hebraica, Quinta. And that's this one that you're looking at right now. It's not a complete Bible, though. They're still working on it. It's a many years long project. So, but Esther is done, so we get to look at Esther. Okay? And let's see. How do you guys want to do this? Would you like to take turns reading, and then we can work through it together, or would you like me to read and we can work through it together? Naomi just wrote, can we read?
Want to read.
Okay, great. Hey, Naomi, why don't you start us off? You read the first verse. Chapter 6, verse 1.
בלילה ההוא נדרה שינה המלך, ויאמר להביא את ספר הזיכרונות, דברי הימים, ויהיו נקראים לפני המלך.
Well done. I think the way I was highlighting was throwing you off. I don't know how to turn off that pink highlighting that's happening, so sorry if that was disturbing. Okay, so yeah, good. The only one I think was this one. It's kind of a weird word. This nadida. Yeah, so yeah, but okay, it's kind of weird. So okay, great. So balayla hohu, what's that mean? Anybody can jump in now.
In the night.
Yep.
He.
Okay. Not that. Balayla is in the night. And what's the who? Hahu mean?
The he.
The that one, right? The that.
Oh,
the,
plural.
yeah, the he. The that one. So,
Sorry.
so how do you read it together? Balayla hahu. What's that mean?
The he.
In the night. They.
Okay. Naomi, can you help him out with this? Do you remember what hahu means here?
In that night,
Yeah, thank you. That's right. So you're right.
Nice.
So you're right. It is the he, right? But remember, those pronouns can be demonstrative adjectives, right? So they can mean that, right? Or this, right? Or those or these, right? Depending on if it's who, he, right? Ze, zot. There's more rarely, there's zu, and haim, and hain, or hema and hena. Okay, so great. So balayla hahu is literally in the night, that one. So in that night, by the way, I can't draw on the screen because I didn't make it a PowerPoint presentation. So nadida. So this kind of a little bit weird word. This is more associated with birds, right? So usually we'd say like, you'd see it as like nude or some passive form of this, meaning like to flap the wings or to flutter, something like that. So fluttered, shenat hamelech. So this is from the word shena, and the tsari was pre-tonic, and so that pre-tonic tsari became a schwa, kind of similar to what happens with comets. Doesn't always happen with tsari, but sometimes it does. So this is shenat hamelech. So shena comes from the verb yashan, which is to sleep. Okay, so shena means sleep. So shenat hamelech, what's that mean?
The king slept.
The king's sleep. His sleep fluttered, right? So this is Hebrew expressing that he was having trouble sleeping. It's fluttering. So that's how they're expressing that. Vayomer, what's Vayomer?
Saying and said.
And he said, Lehavi,
To the.
To the heart.
no.
He.
To the
Nabi. Is that Nabi?
It's havi. So it's from the verb bo, right? Okay, what
go.
binyan? Okay, almost. So ba is to come or to arrive, but you're right. Rarely we do interpret it as go, but usually it's to come or to arrive. And what binyan is it in right now? Can you recognize the binyan? The verbal root? I mean the verbal stem? The binyan? So aleph is the last letter in the verbal root. And,
is it lamed he?
well, that's not what a binyan is. That would mean there's a lamed there's a hey in the last position, right? So this one, there's a yod.
Hollow. Is it hollow verb?
It is, yeah. Bo is a hollow verb. That's right. It is.
Because of the yod?
Right. But what I'm wanting to know is, do you guys see the binyan? Is it kal, pl, pu'al, niphal, hiphil,
okay.
hofal? What's the binyan of this guy? There's two hints. There's a hey at the beginning, and there's a yod.
Hiphil.
Yes, hiphil. That's right. Yeah, this is a hiphil infinitive, and that's why the lamed is there. So what does it mean? Lehavi. What does that mean? If the basic verb means come, and this is infinitive.
To come.
Is it to come?
No, that would be
to
the
be
call.
brought.
Yes, to be brought. To be brought. That's right. Well, not to be brought. That would actually be a hofal infinitive, right? To be brought would make it passive, right? This is active. So to bring. To bring. You're very close. To bring, right? In other words, to cause to come is to bring, right? Or to cause to arrive, to bring. So lehavi. So the king, he couldn't sleep. So he said to bring et sefer. What's a sefer?
The scroll.
Good.
The scroll.
Yup, a scroll. Hazichronot. Now, you probably don't know this word, but can you recognize the root? Zachar?
Remember.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So this is a word that's from that root. So the scroll is something to do with remembering, right? Like remembrances, or like, something about memory. So we'll just go with that. Divrei hayamim. What's divrei hayamim? No.
daily,
No.
in
Matters of the year.
Yeah, sure. That's good. Sure. That's right. Matters of the years. So yamim, when it's plural like that, oftentimes means a year, right? So literally, matters or words of the days or of the years. You can think of it. So this is actually how we express the Book of Chronicles in Hebrew. They're called. It's got this divrei hayamim in there, right? You know, so it's like matters of the days, right? So you'll be reading in Kings and it says, are not all these things written in the divrei yamei Malchei Yisrael, right? The days of the matters of the days of the kings of Israel, right? So that's the Chronicles of Israel. So in this case, it's just a little bit different. The remembrances of the, and by the way, this word remembrance, we get another word that's related to this. There's a maskir. Maskir is a secretary, right? I don't know about modern Hebrew, but in biblical Hebrew, it's a secretary, right? The one who would record things. So you can see how yaqar is used in all these different ways that have. So he's recording the events so they'll be remembered, right? Okay, so he's asking for some boring stuff to be read to him so he could sleep. Vayihyu nekaim lifnei hamelech. Okay, vayihyu. What's that mean?
and they
And what?
Yep, and they were, right? Because this is plural. The remembrances of the words of the. It's plural. So and they were nikraim. So what does kara mean? Kara by itself. Kara.
call,
Yes, that's right.
Call.
That's right. Very good. Call or like to call. You know, sometimes it's to summon, right? If it's followed by a lamed, it just kind of depends on context. So what binyan is this one in? Is it call, pl, niphal,
Niphal?
Yeah, that's right. So that's going to make it passive, right? So nikraim. So they were nikraim. So the they is referring back to these books, right? This book, right? So they were read. Lifnei hamelech.
before the king.
Right. Because when you read a book in Hebrew, you kara it. It's like you're calling out from the book, right? Because there's this concept of reading silently in your mind wasn't really present. Okay? Verse 2. Who would like to read verse 2?
I will read.
Go for it.
Viמצא כתוב אשר הגיד מרדכי מרדכי okay Mordecai al excuse me, why is the Mordecai has a shua and a?
That's because it's a begad kefat letter, and the first syllable in front of it is closed, right? So there's no vowel sound in front of it, and so he gets a weak dagesh then. So it's mo. This is unaccented, closed syllable. That's why this is an o, right? The accent. You see it over here? So it's mo, do chai, mo do chai.
Mordecai.
Okay, good question.
Mordecai.
Good question. Yep.
Al bigtana
Good.
Vateresh Shenei Sarisei Hamelech Miss Mary
Mishomrei. Mishomrei.
yeah, Mishomrei
Okay.
Mishomrei Hasaf
Good.
Asher Bikshu Lishlot
Lishloach. And you see the third of patach? See how it's over to the side?
Lishloach.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Lishloach Yad Bamelech Akashorosh
Ahasuerus.
Verosh.
Yeah, these Persian words are hard. And the Persian names too.
Ahasuerus.
Even when I was reading yesterday and I'm going through recording, I get to this guy's name and I'm like, what? It just looks so weird. It's not a Hebrew name, you can tell. So, good. And since it's actually Shushan Purim, we can actually still do the little applause and stuff. So we'll do that as we get to them, okay? So Vayimatse, what's this mean, guys? Vayimatse. What's matzah? What's matzah mean? By itself, matzah.
Find.
Find, okay? And what's that dagesh in the mem tell us about the binyanim?
Is it plural?
No, that would be the middle letter. This is the first letter. Something caused that to double. What went in there?
PL? I thought
No.
PL is the second.
Yeah, PL is the second. This isn't PL. This is not PL.
Is it hiphil or
Nope.
um,
Want to just name them all? I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Hiphil.
hiphil
Nope.
of
Nope. It'll be the last one you mentioned. Wait, stop. You can figure this out. You can figure that. Look. Okay. Look. It's the first letter, right? So that means something prefixed on here went in. Hey, if it's hiphil, you'd have a hey here, right? Hey never goes in. Hey never goes in, right? Or actually, in this case, you wouldn't have a hey. But the imperfect of hiphil, there's no dageshes happening with the hiphil. Okay, so it's not hiphil, right? It's not kal because you have a strong dagesh in the first letter. It's not pl or pu'al because that's the middle letter. It's not hitpile because usually you still have the tav in hitpile, although sometimes it does go in there, right? Okay, so what's left?
Al.
No, it's not kal. There's a dagesh. There's a dagesh here in the first letter.
Dagesh on the
Naomi,
first.
you know this, right?
Naomi has no sound. She just came in, no sound.
Oh, she's not
I think
hearing
her-
us. Oh, okay. Okay.
No sound. She cannot hear.
All right, we have
Probably
sound.
there's-
Yeah. Oh, let me just type here. We have sound. Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
not hiphil, is it?
No, it's not hiphil. It's niphal.
Oh, oh.
Niphal. Niphal.
Oh,
Right? Remember, you would have originally had vayin matse, and so the
Oh,
the
yeah,
noon
yeah,
goes,
that's
got
right.
it? Yeah. Okay. I think just you guys are more.
niphal imperative.
I think imperfect.
Imperfect.
I think if this was a different verb, like shamar, if it said vayish, then you guys would have realized, oh, it's niphal. I think because it's a verb you haven't seen in niphal too often, that's what threw you off. Okay, so what's it mean if it says vayimatse? It's niphal, so you know it's what? Active or passive?
Passive.
Good.
And
Good.
cause you to find.
Good. So it means, and it was found, chatuv. Chatuv.
Written.
Very good, written. This is a call passive participle. So you're exactly right. Written. Asher.
Which?
Good. Higid.
He give.
Tell.
He give.
Tell.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, to tell. Yep. From nagad is actually the root, and this is a hiphil, right? There's your hey, and there's the yod. So it's like to cause, to tell, but we just say to tell. Yep, to tell, or to relate. So it was written that which told, we would say, Mordechai. Mordechai. Yay! When we say Mordechai. Woo!
Yeah.
Al.
Today still pouring.
Yep, al. So what do we say? Al.
Upon or on.
Okay, usually it has that meaning, but when we're talking about like a topic, we say like concerning, right? Concerning.
Concerning.
But you're right, it is on or over. That's how Hebrew thinks of it. Big Thana, okay? Big Thana, so that's that guy. Vatheresh, and that guy, there's another name. Shnei Sarisei HaMelech. What's that mean? Shnei.
Is it year or?
It does sound like year. Yeah, it sounds a lot like the concept
Both?
of your.
Princess. Both.
Yeah, you could say
Oh,
both. You could say both. It means the two, and both in English has an idea of two.
Two.
Why not? Yep. The two or both sarisei, not princes. A saris is not a prince. You're thinking of a sar spelled with a sin instead of samech, right? That means prince. This is sarisim. So a saris is a eunuch or an official. It has both those meanings. So it's kind of a weird that would mean either one of those things. I don't know how that developed. So eunuchs or officials of Hamelech.
The king.
Good. Mishomarei. Me? What's me?
From.
Good.
Keep. From
Shomorei
keep
Hasaf. Shomorei. Yeah. Go
the
say.
scroll.
Yeah. The keepers or the watchmen. the watchman of Hasaf. You probably don't know Saf. Saf is like the threshold, right? Like where the grain is being kept, that kind of thing, where they break down the grain, right? So they watched over that stuff. Asher.
Which?
Yep. Or in this case, probably who, bikshu. So you don't know? Do you know this word? Bakash.
No, Bakash. We came across that.
Yeah, often usually it shows up as bikesh, right? It's I don't know why there's no dagesh in the kuf here. That's what threw me off just now. Usually we'd expect a dagesh here. This is a PL form. I don't know why there's no dagesh. So bikshu, but it usually would be bikeshu, right? So bikshu. So bikesh means to seek, right? To look for. So bikeshu, they sought, or they were trying, they were looking. Lishloach yad. Okay, so this verb, what's shalach mean? Shalach.
When? Sent?
Yes, sent. Sent, good. And what's it mean we put a lamed in front of the verb like that? Lishloach. What's that for? Huh?
To send?
Yeah, to send. So
Is it
they
good?
sought, and maybe we'd put in English, put in parentheses, an opportunity. Lishloach yad. To send yad. What's yad?
To send his hand?
Yeah, to send a hand, right? This is like force. This is a Hebrew idiom. To shalach yad, it means like to attack somebody, right? So lishloach yad, but not always. It's different in the case of Abraham. We have another metaphor there. Bamelech.
In the
In the
king's
king?
Well, they're not trying to put their hand in the king. So what's bait going to mean? It has other meanings, right?
On the
Yeah.
king?
What else? What else? Can bait mean?
Against the
Against.
king?
Oh,
Exactly.
against
Against. Yep. So they sought to send a hand, like, and Yad often has the idea of like authority, power, right? You know, so force. Bamelech against the king, Ahasuerus. Yay, Ahasuerus! Woo!
Boo-boo.
No, I don't know why we applaud him. Because he's the one who approved the genocide to start with. No, you're right. Boo makes more sense to me. But I guess because at the end he does the right thing, right? But it's like, why in the world?
Yeah. He corrected himself.
He corrected
That's
himself,
right,
yeah. But he's the one who, could you imagine you've got some official, he comes up to you, hey, there's these people, and you never met one, but, they don't like you, and can we kill them all, including the babies? King's like, all right, here's my ring, do what you want. It's just like, what is with this guy? Not a very good ruler. And I don't know if you heard, as I mentioned in last night's teachings, the first 5 chapters, I don't know where I mentioned it, but we have this tradition that Ahasuerus was not really nobility. Oh, Rashi talks about this. Rashi talks about how he actually was a pretender to the throne. He just bought the throne. He was a very wealthy man, and so he basically bought the throne. Yeah, so, which I'm not sure if that tradition's true, because most secular historians believe this was Xerxes II, right, who's called Ahasuerus, right? So if he's the second, well, there had to be a first, right? So I don't know. Okay. All right, but I could be wrong. Maybe that's just a Persian thing, right? Maybe they just wanted to name them that way. I don't know what Xerxes means in Persian. So, okay. Verse 4. Who's going to read verse 4?
Okay, I can take verse 4. Vayomer Hamelech mi vekazer vehaman ba lakazar beit Hamelech Hakitzona Leomer Lamelech Litlot et Mordokai al Ha'etz
Good.
Asher Heikim Lo.
Okay, good. And just a couple ones. So this is Vechatzel, right? And Lachatzar. And this guy is Hachitzona. Kind of hard. But yeah, that's good. Good reading. Okay?
Hakitzona.
Yeah. Okay, so Vayomer HaMelech. What's that mean?
The king said,
Yep.
and the king said,
Yep, and you're right. You can leave out "and" sometimes. A lot of translators, they just leave it out because it happens so often in Hebrew, and it's kind of a no-no in in English. Okay, me. What's me mean?
What?
Nope, that's ma.
What?
Nope? Ma means what? Me
What?
means something else. No,
what?
no. Ma means
Why?
what?
Why?
Oh,
Nope. Who? Me means who.
Oh,
Just remember, who means he means she, me means who, and if you're a Russian speaker, it's even worse. Ani means I. In Russian, it means they. So it's like, okay. So vechatzer. So do you know what a chatzer is? Chatzer is a courtyard, the courtyard or the court, just like the court that you have outside, right? So why is there segor here? Anybody remembers the rule?
Because of the next letter is a cat
Yeah.
and comments down there.
Yeah.
So
And-
you use the
and-
goal.
But that's not enough. Chet with the comments isn't enough. That's the first two conditions. And the third condition is?
There's a pause.
It's unaccented.
Harsh
I
cultural.
forgot the word.
It's-
pausal thing.
you're right. It is in pause, right? But that's not why that's happening. So this is an unaccented syllable with comments in the chet. See the accent's over here, right? And when you have that, then we point the definite article with segol, right? Segol. Okay. So in the courtyard. So who is in the courtyard? The king asks. Haman ba.
Haman.
Yep.
Haman.
Haman ba. What's that mean? Haman ba.
Haman came.
Yeah,
or
Haman came.
went.
Haman arrived. Something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And note, it's a little bit out of order. Usually we'd expect to have Haman after the verb, right? But here it's first. So there's some kind of emphasis here that the storyteller is telling us. By the way, I don't mean that it's a false story, but the narrator is telling us that's when Haman was coming. Like, can you believe it? It was Haman. It's Haman. This vav might even be a vav emphaticum, right? So the king says, "Who's in the courtyard?" Exclamation point. Haman came. Right? Can you believe it? Of all the providential things that would happen, it's Haman. Lachatzar beit
did we
hamelech.
miss?
What's that?
Rabbi, did we miss verse 3?
Let's see. I don't think so. Let me go back. Oh, maybe we did. Did we not do 3?
Because that's after he asked.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Sorry, I'm glad you caught that. Okay, I'm just going to read this one real quick to catch us up, okay? Vayomer HaMelech, man asa yaqar ugedula leMordechai al ze, vayomru na'arei HaMelech mesharetaiv lo na'asa imo davar. So then the king said, what has been done, right? So we have niphal passive there. Yaqar. So this is actually more of an Aramaism. So in Hebrew, yaqar usually means precious. Precious, right? Like a precious stone or something. But in Aramaic, Jewish Aramaic, it means like honor, right? So in this case, we're going with the Aramaic meaning. So yaqar, so like honoring, ugedula, and magnifying, leMordechai, to Mordechai, right? It's what was done to honor and to magnify him, or to glorify, honor and glorify him. Alze, concerning this, right? Because he told them about the spies. So the king's lads, they said, the king's lads who ministered to him, ministering to him, they said, Lo na'asa, there wasn't anything done, imo, with him, davar, not a thing. Okay, now we go back to chapter 4, to verse 4. Thanks for catching that. I can't believe I skipped. Yeah, I'm a little tired right now. So, all right, 4. So 4, did we read it? Okay, we read it. We're translating. Okay, good. Okay, it was Haman arriving. Lach. Now this next part, these next 2 words all go, actually 4 words go together. Lachatzar beit hamelech hachitzona. Okay, so again we know that chatzer means
The courtyard.
That's right, courtyard. And what's the lamed mean?
To
Good.
the
That's right. So
courtyard.
Haman has arrived to the courtyard. Very good. Beit HaMelech.
House of the king.
Well, this is kind of hard to see, but courtyard is in construct, right? To the courtyard of Beit HaMelech.
Of the house of the king.
Yup, the king's house. Yup. Some would translate like his apartment or whatever. I've seen that before, but no. Just stick with the king's house. Ha-chitzona. So, chitzona means outside, the outer part, right? So this is the adjective, and it's modifying courtyard. Okay? Lemor. What's lemor?
Saying
La melech.
to the king.
Good.
To the king.
Right? So this is idea. So actually saying or to say, right? So he wants to say to the king, litlot. So he wants to talk to him about litlot. So you probably don't know this word. This is to hang. To hang. To hang, or they're talking about the hanging at Mordechai, of Mordechai. Al ha'etz, upon ha'etz. What's ha'etz?
Tree.
Yeah,
the tree.
Yeah, the tree, meaning like the platform made from wood, right? We could even say the wooden thing. Asher.
Which.
Hechim.
Hechim. Is it? He built.
Yeah, it's like he built. Yeah, exactly. He constructed. You know, he had set up, etc. Lo.
For him.
Very good, very good for him. Yep. Let me just see how many people we got here. Oh, okay, kind of small crowd today. That's fine. All right, fine. Okay. Good for him. Nice. Okay. Verse 5. Who would like to read 5?
Esther. Practice reading. Where's Esther?
Esther, are you up to it? She's in the
Okay,
beginner
I'll-
class.
Esther, go.
You
Yeah.
sure? She might not be. Are you ready for it, Esther? You want to? It's your call.
I get.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's no problem. No problem. Who would like to read?
Oh, I thought I was reading. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I muted myself.
Oh, okay.
Bayomereru.
Good.
Naari.
No, okay.
Amelek.
Good.
Elayiv.
Good.
Ru.
Look again.
Is that Ru?
No, no.
Hine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hine.
Good.
Haman.
Good.
Haman.
Boo.
Omer.
Almost. This is
Omed.
not a resh. It's a dollar.
Ahmed.
Good.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Behatzer.
Good.
Bayomer.
Good.
Amelek. Yabeo. What? Yabeo.
Yavo.
Yab-
Just Yavo.
Yabot.
Good. Good
Yavo.
job. Good job. Okay. So everybody, Vayomru. What's this mean?
And they said,
Yep. And now here's the subject. Na'arei hamelech. Na'arei. What's na'arei?
lad of the king, Naar.
Lads of the king, right? So the king's lads, right? So then the king's lads said, a live. What's that?
To him,
Unto
Good.
him.
Good.
Behold.
Hine.
behold,
Haman. Boo. Haman.
behold, Haman,
Yep. Maid.
stood, standing,
Stand.
Yeah. He's
Standing.
standing or stands. Bechatzer.
in the courtyard.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Yay.
You showed it to us.
Yay. What's nice about this,
And
look,
said,
by the way, look, if you haven't caught the hint, look, when I point on a word, it's showing all the words that are visible on the screen that are exactly the same, right? So, see?
yes, I noticed. That's a great clue.
Yay. All right, good. So, Vayomer,
And said, the
Hamelech,
king,
good. Yavo.
he comes.
Yeah, this is probably Joseph. Let him come in. Let him enter, right? Something like that. Good. Okay, let me scroll verse 6, making sure we're not missing it. Yep, 6, that's right. Scroll verse 6. Oh, that's the only thing that's bad about using the BHQ. I don't have it set up to show in gray proper nouns, but that's okay. All right, verse 6. Who wants to read verse 6? Is everybody
Okay,
have
I'll
that?
read.
Okay, go for it.
Can
Yeah.
I read?
Yeah. Oh, there, Naomi. Let's just go around Robin. Go.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Okay, sure.
Who's reading? Me?
Yeah, go for
Yes,
it.
yes.
Okay. ויבוא המן ויאמר לו המלך מה לעשות באיש אשר המלך חפץ בחרור. ויאמר המן בליבו למי יחפוץ המלך לעשות יaqar יותר mimeni.
Great, really
Mimeni.
good, really good reading. Really, the only thing was this has the weak dagesh. You missed that. Yachpots instead of yachfots, but very, very nice reading. Okay, so let's translate this together. Vayavo Haman. Boo.
And Haman came,
Great.
Enter.
Yeah. Oh man, I have a noisemaker upstairs. I should have brought it. Oh, it might hurt your ears.
Say.
Okay. Vayomer
saying,
Said
lo
to him,
hamelech.
To him.
the king,
And you guys see how the indirect object likes to slip in there right after the verb, between the subject and the verb sometimes? Especially when it's a short one, it'll just jump in there, right? Also, any other super short words sometimes will do that. So, Vayomer lo hamelech, ma la'asot. Ma.
What is to be done?
Yeah, good. What is to be done? Ba'ish.
The man.
to the man,
Yeah,
man.
probably with the man, right? Bait sometimes has the idea of with. Yeah, that's right.
with the man,
Asher.
which the king,
Yep. The
which the
king.
king
Chafetz. Chafetz.
faith.
have faith.
So, do you remember in Psalm 1 that you guys memorized? Cheftzo.
Yes.
We see this word in the form of cheftzo.
Delight.
Yeah, good.
Delight.
Delight. Yeah, good. Delight. Remember cheftzo? It's his delight, right? The Torah is his delight. Okay, good. Bikaro. Bikaro. Bikaro, bikaro, bikaro. Sorry.
Yaqar.
So, do you remember yaqar? We had it on the previous.
Yaqar.
So, yaqar usually means precious, but this particular meaning is more like honor, right? Honoring, right? Giving honor to somebody. And by the way, notice there's no vowel under the yod. So the word was yaqar, and then we tried to put the schwa, and we ended up lengthening, and the yod lost its consonantal property. So bikaro, right? So in honoring him is really what this is saying, right? So the king's asking, what should be done with the man whom the king desires or delights in honoring him, right? It's kind of awkward how it's expressed in the Hebrew, but okay, vayomer,
And said,
okay, Haman, boo,
boo,
boo.
Haman, belivo in his heart,
That's right. That's literally what it says, but we understand it to mean he's thinking to himself, right?
Desire.
Yeah, it's like he's having a thought conversation. Okay, let me,
to me,
To
yeah. You got it. Say it.
who?
To whom yachpots. So this is a verb that's where this chafetz came from, right? So yachpots.
he desired,
He will delight.
He will delight. Yep. To whom
delight,
will delight Hamelech?
the king,
Yep. La'asot.
to do,
Yep. To do or to make yaqar. This is the same word as we had bikaro here.
Honor.
So yeah, honor.
honor,
Honor.
Yoter. Do you guys know yoter? This is not common in Torah Hebrew. Yoter. I'm not sure if we even have it in Torah Hebrew. It's in modern Hebrew, but yeah, this is a function of, I think, late biblical Hebrew. Yoter is a way to say like in excess. We have the word yeter in Torah Hebrew, yeter, which means the excess, right? It can be the extra yield, more than you needed from the crop or whatever. So yoter means more, right? More. The idea is like in excess. So to whom would the king wish to honor, right? More, mimeni.
from me,
Yeah, but remember, the usual way to do comparison is you saying from, right? Like the king could say, "Gadol ani mimecha," right? I am greater than you are, right? Literally, I am great from you, right? So this is kind of like there's like a double thing happening here. You don't really need the mimeni, but it just fits the comparison better, right? He could have said yoter ani, but instead it's yoter mimeni. Okay, more than me is really what's saying in the Hebrew, right? So he's so certain that he's the best guy. All right, verse 7. Okay, the next one in line, please read verse 7.
Elizabeth,
Okay.
Go for it.
7. Vayomer, Haman,
Ooh,
Hamelech, Ish, Asher, Hamelech, Hafetz, karo.
Great. Great reading. Very good. Okay. So Vayomer Haman, what's that mean?
And
said
Haman said
Yep.
to the
to the king,
Okay, good. Ish.
Amen, who
Asher.
the king
Yep.
the king
Chafetz.
Which delight.
delights
Yep. Or
To
delights.
honor.
Yep.
Delight
Bikaro.
to honor.
to honor him.
To honor.
Yep. Okay. Nice. Verse 8. Next one. Read the next. I think we're going to finish the chapter.
יביאו לבוש מלכות אשר לבש בו למלך וסוס אשר rakhav עליו המלך ואשר ניתן כתר מלכות בראשו. Berosho.
Yeah, great. You got it. You even
Berosho.
corrected yourself. Good job. Nice. Good reading. Okay. So, Yavi'u. What's Yavi'u mean?
He will come. They will come
Yup.
to
Well, not come. That would be Yavo. Yavo'u. This is
Go.
Yavi'u. What's that Yod telling you about the binyan? What binyan is it?
He will be brought.
Someone said it.
He will be brought.
Cause
Yeah.
and they cause to come.
Someone said hiphil. It's not he would be brought. That makes it causative passive. That would actually be
Okay.
hofal, right? But you're close. It is causative. It's causative active. So they will bring, right? Or they should bring is really this is like we don't really. It's harder to recognize these kind of moods in Hebrew than it is in Greek. So this is like a subjunctive mood. It would be in the Greek. So they should bring levush malchut, levush malchut.
To
So you probably don't know levush, right? So the word is lavush. It's funny. It's funny. Lavush. This is so similar. There's a Ukrainian word lavash, which means like a wrap. Like you wrap something in tortilla or whatever. That's in Ukrainian. That's a lavush. So it's so similar. So it sounds like, and this is also lavush. So anyway, so lavush. This is it's clothing. Okay, it's clothing. So it comes from the okay. So clothing or garment in construct. So lavush, it became levush, garment of malchut. Malchut. What's malchut mean?
kingdom.
Yeah, kingdom. You're very good.
King.
Like in the Lord's Prayer, right? Avinu Shabashamayim, right? Yit Kadesh, and it goes on to say, Tavo Malchutecha, may your Malchut come, right? So good. So this is functioning adjectively because it's in the contract chain. So garments, like royal garments is really what it's trying to say. Royal garments, royal vestments. Asher.
Which
And then here's the verb from where this word lavush comes from. Lavash. It's what you do with clothes. What do you do with them?
Cover.
Yeah, you cover, you put them on, you
Put
dress,
on.
right? You dress that. Yep.
Where?
Yeah. Lavash
where
bo. Lavash bo.
On him.
Dress bo. Yeah, on him. Dress on him. Exactly.
Him.
Hamelech. This is the subject of lavash. Right? Lavash bo
The king.
hamelech. Yeah, the king himself should dress that guy. Imagine the ego of this
Wow.
guy. I mean, it's
Wow.
just so far beyond maybe what we even thought before. I mean, he's making his own present. He's got to get the king's clothing on him, and the king will be the one to address him, right? Usually the king has, like, not the butler. I can't remember what the attendant is called. Like in Britain, they used to have this very common. There'd be one guy whose job is to dress the nobleman, right? And the lady had, like, her chief maid who would dress her, right? So he's going to make the king his chief butler. Not butler, but whatever it was. So, okay, so he's going to dress him in his clothing, okay? Vesus,
And a horse.
And
Asher,
horse.
which
Rakhav Alai Vamelech. Do you know Rakhav? Rakhav?
is it ride?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Ride?
It is ride. It is ride. And from this verb, we actually get the word markava. Does anybody remember markava? What a markava is? We're not in Exodus, so we haven't seen a whole lot of them yet. But markava is a chariot, right? It's something that you ride. It's markava, right? You rakhav on the markava. And in Israel, markava in modern Hebrew means a tank. So that used to be chariot, now it means tank, right? That's the word for tank. And a marchevet is a train. so it's something you ride, right? You ride on it. Okay, good. So rakhav alai hamelech. So the horse which Rakhav alayv hamelech.
The-
What's it mean?
The
The
king
king
rides.
rode on.
Yeah, the king, not necessarily rides, but has ridden upon or rode upon, right? So the king might have other horses, might have many horses, but it's got to be one that he himself, it was worthy for the king, right? He rode on it at least once. Va'asher,
And which
yup, and whom probably in this
gave,
case. Nitan, what's Nitan?
Nitan.
Nitan.
give,
To give.
Nathan give,
Okay, so Nitan, this is tricky. This is very tricky, okay? So Natan, you're right. Natan is in the call. What is this binyan? Can you guys figure out what the binyan is here? It's super
Niphal?
tricky. Yes! Great! Niphal, very good. How did you know it was Niphal?
Because of the nen.
Okay, okay.
Because of the noon. Because of the noon.
Okay, but Natan also has a noon in the call. Natan means he gave.
Because of the dagesh.
Yeah,
Dagesh?
that's right, the dagesh. Beautiful. So the dagesh tells us what? What went inside of the tav?
The other
noon.
noon.
Yeah, excellent.
Ah.
So we would have had a theoretical form. So you have Natan, and you want to put a noon in front of it to make it Niphal, right? So you'd have this theoretical form, Nin Tan, and then it didn't stand. Sorry, I accidentally touched on the critical apparatus, and so the noon went inside of the tav. So Nitan, excellent. So was given, right? Passive, and which was given, or in this case, will be given, right? Even though it's the perfect, he's using it like as a future, right? It will be given. It's gonna happen. Keter. Do you guys know what keter is by any chance? Okay, that's okay. Keter is one of the words for crown, a crown. And it comes from the verb ki tel in the PL, which means to encircle, right? So sometimes troops, they will, so psalmist will complain that he's encircled by troops, right? They're circling around. So there's other words for that too. There's also saviv, which that's not only for military, but this one is used in military context. And so it encircles his head, right? So it's a keter, it's a crown. Just like a melech malachs, right? A king reigns. And just like a tselem, an imager, salams was imaged, so too a keter was kiter. It surrounds the head. So a crown, malchut.
kingdom,
Right. So here we have, literally this is going to be construct, just like we had up above. We had this for lavush became lavush malchut, right? Clothing of kingdom, so that was like royal vestments. So here, keter malchut would mean what?
royal kingdom,
Crown of the
Yeah, a
kingdom.
royal
Crown of
crown.
the king
Berosho.
on his head.
Yeah,
On
that's
his
right. On his
head.
head. Very good. This guy. I mean, look, can you imagine the ego? Do this and this and this because it's me. Nobody can be better than me. We're on verse 9, correct? Was that right? That's right, yeah? Okay.
Okay, I'll go next.
Narcissus.
All right.
Venaton, halvush, or halevush.
That's better. Yep, I was waiting to correct you till afterwards. Correct. Good.
Halevush, vehasus, al, yad, ish, misharei, hamelek, hapartemin, vehil bishu, et.
Read that.
It's
All right.
dancing.
I know, right? Let me just take my cursor off. I don't know why that's happening. Sorry, I messed you up. You're right here on this next line. Start on the second part. The first on the second line, huh?
Okay, yeah. Et haish asher hamelech kafetz bikaro vehir kivuhu al hasus birkov ha'ir vekoru lifanai kekol yeaseh.
Kacha.
Kaka yeaseh layish asher hamelech kafetz birkoro.
Great. Okay, good. Okay, so let's see. So all the way to the top, and this can be, everybody can join in. Venaton halavush hasus.
And gave.
Yeah, so this is the funny guy. This is infinitive absolute, so it can be anything, right? It's wild card. So probably and will be given, right? Because he's still talking about what will happen, right? So and will be given. Halavush.
the garment,
Yup. The hasus.
and the horse
Yup.
upon hand of the man,
Yup.
mishrei,
No, it's a scene. It's a scene.
misarei.
Right. And you already read. You're good. You don't have to keep reading. So, misarei hamelech. So this is a construct. So what's the me mean? Anybody can say. What's the me here? What's that mean?
From
From. Good. Sarei hamelech. Do you know? So sar. What's a sar?
prince,
Very good, very good. And in case you have trouble remembering that, a nice mnemonic is in Russian, this word was adopted and it kind of went through the Russification process. And we get the word tsar. Tsar. The king. That's the king in Russian. Well, they have a different word for king, but the tsar is a special king, right? Yeah. So that actually came from the Hebrew word, tsar. And they also actually borrowed, in the Russian alphabet, they take this letter, shin. They have a letter that looks just like it almost. It's blockier, but it's called she. And it makes a sh sound, so they took it from Hebrew also. So, misarei, the monks Kirill. That's why it's called Cyrillic. The monks who were brothers, they were called Kirill. They took from Greek, and they took one letter from Hebrew, and they invented some other letters, and that was the Russian alphabet. Okay, so misarei hamelech. From
the prince of the king.
Nope, not prince singular. Prince what?
Oh, the
Princess.
Princess. Good. The princess.
okay.
And don't get confused. We're not saying a girl, not princess, right? Princess. The princes of the king.
The king.
Hapartimim. This is. You're not going to know this word unless you remember it from the other chapters the other night.
The garment.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess. No, this is a Persian word, and it means, it can mean like governors in some contexts, or it can mean like nobility, right? The nobility, right? So the nobility, again, it's not Hebrew. It's a borrow, and this is what's so cool in Esther. You get all these words coming to us from Persian, which makes sense because if it were written in that time in Persia, we would expect a lot of loan words. So the let's just say the nobles. The heel be shul.
And their
So lavash is to dress. This is what binyan. What binyan is this one in?
hiphil
Yes, hiphil. Very good. So
and cause to
yeah, they will.
dress.
Yeah, that's right. They will cause to dress, or sometimes we might just say they will dress. Right. I guess cause to dress implies that that they could have their servants do it in this case, right? Because it's not called, it's hiphil. Okay? I can't put my cursor on the next few words. So next line, first word. See, it's going to move weird for some reason. So
The man which
yep,
dress the man which,
yep, the man asher.
which the king
Yep, chafetz bikaro.
desires to honor.
Yeah, desires or delights.
Delight to honor.
Yep, honoring him. The here kivuhu. The here kivuhu. Do you recognize the root in this one? We talked about this one before.
Rakhav.
Yeah, that's right, rakhav. So rakhav was to ride, or it can also mean to mount, like getting on the horse, right? So here kivuhu. What is the binyan here?
Hiphil.
Yes, very good. Hiphil. So cause. So notice what happened here was because there's not a long u at the end. The Mazrit, they put the kibbutz here to tell us it should be u. So here kivu, right, means they caused to mount or they caused to ride. So and they shall cause to ride. Who? What's the who there?
They.
Nope, that's the u underneath the bait. What's the who at the end?
And they will cause him to ride
Yes,
upon
good.
the horse.
Yes. Birchov ha'ir. Do you know what a rakhav is? Rakhav? Rakhav is it's like well, in some cases it can mean street, but it's like a city center, right? So birchov ha'ir.
City, the city.
Well, what's the rechov ha'ir? Together, what's rechov ha'ir?
In the middle of the city.
Yeah, in the middle of the city, they'd say the plots in German, right? The square, right? The square of the city. And you're right when you said v'kol.
And they called.
Well, that would just, but it's vav conversive.
Oh,
This is
again?
still Haman saying what he wants. And they will call
him.
Call lifanayiv.
To his
Face.
No.
before him.
Before him. So he's riding along, and they're going to call out before him, Kacha. So basically, they're announcing him, right? Like, here comes the great man, you know, something like that, right? They're announcing in front of him as he goes along, right? Kacha. Kacha, what's that?
Thus,
Why?
like thus.
Yeah. Like such, right? Or like thus, or thusly, or something like that, right? Any of those things to make it sound good in English. Ye ase. So he's concluding now. Ye ase. What is the
He
binyan?
will
What's the binyan?
asa kal.
Asa would be called, but this is ye ase. What's the binyan? It's tricky, but you guys, someone will get it. Ye ase. It's not call.
Is it? Oh. Ah. Yeah.
The indicator is the tsere under the yod. This is what is the tell. If it was call, we would expect a chirik there, right? Like yishmor, right? He will protect, right? But it's not chirik. It's been lengthened. Something happened to cause compensatory lengthening. The short chirik became a long vowel, tsere. What would have caused that? So usually you'll get compensatory lengthening because of a dagesh problem, right? Usually when you'd be expecting a dagesh, if that letter can't take a dagesh, then the vowels in front of it lengthen, right? That's usually what happens. Not always. If it's a weak gut, it don't always happen, but sometimes it does happen. So that's what happened here. The ayin was unable to take a strong dagesh, so instead it came down here. So what would cause a dagesh to want to go in the first letter? Which binyan would do that? I mean, hiphil does it rarely, but that's not it. It's a different one.
Which binyan?
Yeah, which binyan?
Is it the nifal?
Yes,
No.
niphal. It's niphal. It is. Yep. Because in ancient times, we might have expected yin, right? But then the noon assimilates, but the ayin won't take a dagesh. So instead, that hirik lengthens to tsere, okay? So you look for that. When you see the tsere underneath the prefix to the imperfect verbal form, right, whether it be a yod or a tav in front of it, then that's telling you this is a niphal, okay? So ye ase. So he says, thusly, ye ase shall be done. La'ish. What's la'ish?
To the man,
Asher
which the
hamelech
king
chafetz bikaro.
Delight to honor.
Yeah, delights to honor him. He wants to honor him. Great. And okay, let's see. Let's just okay. If you can stay a bit longer, let's go ahead and finish up the chapter. There's only 12 verses. All right. Who would like to read next one? Read verse 10. Whoever's next in line.
I think Esther is next.
Oh, I'm wrong. There aren't just
Esther.
12. There's 14 verses. Okay.
It's too long.
That's fair. Actually, you know what I'm thinking? Because we're already 9 minutes past, I'll just read the rest. Do you guys mind just so we can get through quickly? Is that okay? Because I'd like to finish the chapter.
Yes.
Okay. But you
I
will.
want to try.
Oh, yeah. Naomi, you can do it. Yeah, you're fast. Go for it. Yeah.
ויאמר המלך להמן, מהר קח את הלבוש ואת הסוס כאשר דיברת ועשה כן למרדכי היהודי היושב בשער המלך אל תפל דבר מכל אשר דיברת.
Okay, good. I think I messed you up again with the pink things. I should have just let you read without moving along. So, okay, so this one is Besha'ar, good. And this is Al, right? Not El, Al, Tapel, but very good reading still. Good reading. Okay, great. Okay, and let's go ahead and translate now. So, Vayomer HaMelech.
And the king said
LeHaman, boo.
To
to
Haman.
Haman,
Maher. Oh, you probably don't know this. Okay, sorry. So mahar, mahar is to hurry up, right? Maher, this is a PL. It's hard to tell. So hasten, hurry.
hasten,
And then
hasten.
kach. What do you think kach is? Kach.
Take.
Yeah, take. It's from lakach. It's imperative. Take it halavush. Halavush. Take
The garment.
Yeah, take the garment. So he's handing him his robe, maybe. Maybe take it off, do you imagine? He's taking, hurry, take it. He's handing it to him right now. He's not dressing him. He's handing it to him. Take the garment, the etasus.
And the horse,
Ka'asher.
which, as
Not
which,
just
like,
which. Yeah, as which. According to how,
As.
probably. According to how. Dibarta.
you said, he
Yeah.
spoke,
said.
Yep. Va'aseh.
and
It's
And do.
yeah, it's imperative. And
Thus.
do chain. Yeah, thus.
Thus.
Yep. And do thus. Lemordochai.
Or
Mordecai.
Mordecai.
Ha-Yehudi.
the Jew,
Yeah, to Mordecai the Jew. So Yehudi, by the way, that's how you say Jew in Hebrew. Yehudi. In Arabic, it's important to know it in Arabic too. So if you hear someone shouting this, you can get some cover. they'll say Yahud, but in Hebrew it's Yehudi. Ha Yoshev.
and sit,
No, not and.
and
Ha.
the one
Who
sits
sits
Yeah, the one who sits.
who sits
Beshar HaMelech.
by the gates of the king.
Right, can you imagine Mordecai right now? He's dressed in sackcloth. He's got Aphar on his head. He's got ash on his head. And this guy's gonna go and bring him a king's garment. He hasn't even taken a bath. Right, he's gonna put it on him. So you got this guy. Imagine the ash, the gray color on his forehead, probably, and his hair. And he's gonna be the king's garment up on the horse. All right, al.
Upon.
No, that's with an ayin. This is aleph.
no,
On.
the
Okay.
to
No, al. It's a similar meaning
Not?
to if you reverse the word lo.
No.
Not.
Yeah,
Not.
yeah, do not.
No.
Yep, do not.
no,
Tapel. This is hard to recognize. So the root is nafal, right? You see the dagesh in the pei? It went away. So tapel. Al tapel. Do you remember what
Do
nafal
not-
means? What's nafal mean? Nafal.
Fall.
Yeah, to fall, exactly. To fall. So what binyan do you think this is? It's kind of hard to recognize. It's not niphal, okay? It's not niphal. Al tapel. The hint, okay, so the noon did go in there, okay? He did go in,
Israel.
but that's from the root. But we have a tsari under the pei. So usually, if you get the tsari under the pei, in this case, it means that the yod came down and went underneath
Hiphil.
there. Yeah, that's right, hiphil. So al tapel. So
Hiphil.
nafal is to fall, okay? Tapel is hiphil of you cause to fall, okay? So do not let fall is really what he's saying. Do not let fall. Davar.
matter,
Yeah, a matter,
One thing.
a thing, right? Like any of the things he talked about. A thing, mikol,
From all
asher,
which
dibarta.
which
said.
he
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
Which
From
he
all which you
spoke.
said. Yeah, from all which you spoke, exactly. So make sure to do it exactly like you said. Make sure to call out before him who's coming through to make sure everybody looks. Make sure to put the king's garment on him. Just all the stuff's gonna happen to Mordecai. It's delicious. Okay, verse 11. Anybody want to read it quickly? All right, I'll take this one.
ויקח המן את הלבוש ואת הסוס וילבש את מרדכי וירחיבהו ברחוב העיר ויקרא לפניו ככה יעשה לאיש אשר המלך חפץ בחרו.
All right, great. So vayikach Haman, boo. What's that mean? Vayikach Haman,
and
And
Haman
Haman
took,
yeah. Et halavush,
took the garments,
ve'et hasus,
garment
horse,
and the horse.
vayalbesh. So what binyan is
And the
this?
garment.
What binyan is this?
the bench, Is it nifal?
Is it what?
Nifal?
Hiphil. It's hiphil. Hiphil. If it's niphal, it's going to happen to him, right? It's just hard to see because your yod has come down and made it sari here, right? So, vayalbesh, and he dressed at Mordechai.
Mordecai.
Vayarkivehu. What's that? Vayarkivehu.
And he caused
And he put him on the horse.
Yeah, that's right.
sit.
Yeah, he made him ride. He made him sit on the horse. He probably made him ride. He made him ride. Biachov ha'ir. This is the construct. Biachov ha'ir.
The courtyard, the square.
In the city center.
Yeah, the city center,
In
the,
the city
square.
plaza.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Their plots in them plots. Okay, it's dancing again. So vayikra lefanai. What's that mean?
And called
And he called out
before him.
for
Yep.
him.
Yep. Kacha.
as thus, as such.
So this is in quotes. This is what he's saying. Thusly, or as such, ase. Oh, it's not in quotes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The king. Okay, good. Laish.
To the men
Asher.
which the king
Hafretz bikaro.
Delights to honor.
Yeah.
Delight to honor.
Yep. Such
Delights
is
to honor.
done to the man whom the king delights
wants.
in honoring him, right? Or in his honor. It's just so beautiful. All right, verse 12.
וישב מרדכי אל שער המלך, והמן נדחף אל ביתו, אבל וחפוי ראש.
Good. Okay, good. So, Vayashav Mordechai. What's that mean?
And Mordecai sat.
Okay, it looks like that, but it's actually from Shuv. It's easy to get these confused, right? What, it's not Yashav, it's Shuv. Yeah, that's right, return. Because that's a hollow verb, right? So it disappears. So, Mordechai returned El Sha'ar HaMelech.
To
You know, this
Sha'ar.
is,
The gate.
yep. Vehaman.
And
And
Haman.
Haman.
So in this case, probably but. I think we're going to say but because of the parallelism, right? So then Mordecai returned to the gate of the king, right? He goes back to mourning again, right? But Haman nidchaf el beito. So this is kind of weird saying. Dachaf is usually means to push, right? Or to push in. Used like in the Psalms, it's like an arrow being pushed into a person, right? Like the psalmist laments sometimes like, God, please lay off of me. You pushed your arrow into me, right? So but in the niphal, it has this meaning of in a hurry, right? I guess you're being pushed. Something's pushing you, some unseen force. So, but Haman hurried el beito.
Into his house.
Yep.
His house.
Avel. So avel, this is from the verb aval, and this is an adjective here, but aval means to mourn, right? But this is a word that's in the verb. It's only used that I've ever seen, meaning a parent mourning the loss of a child, right? It's a special kind of terrible mourning, right? So this is how he feels. He feels like he lost a child. Avel v'chafui rosh. Okay, so chafui. This is from chafa. It's a lamed hey verb. This is a participle, passive participle. So chafa means to cover, right? So passive participle means and was covered rosh, his head. Yeah, he covered his head. And this is quite interesting, the way the Bible is explaining this, because he's covering his head because he's in shame, right? But this is also what they did to hanging victims. They covered their heads. Right, and they even in the Wild West in America they still did this. They cover, so it's almost like a foreshadowing what's going to happen. His head is going to be covered, right? He's going to be hanged. Okay, verse 13. Want to read that?
ויספר המן לזרש.
It's okay. Go for it. She can
Someone
read
else.
that one. Go ahead. You started.
Go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead.
ויספר המן לזרש אשתו ולכל אוהבי את כל אשר קראו ויאמרו לו הקמב וזרש אשתו im מזרע היהודי. Sorry, I need to change my phone.
No problem.
Mid,
It's a name. It's a name.
Mad. I don't know that.
Mordecai.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a weird looking one.
No, sorry.
problem.
My phone isn't charging. Someone can read, please. My phone's not charging.
Okay. Someone take over.
Mordecai asher hakilot lenapol. Lin, is it Lin?
Linpol.
Linpol, lefanav lo tukal lo ki nafol tipol lefanav.
Good. Okay. So, Vaisaper Haman. What's that mean?
And Haman, Sefer, book, will read.
It's the same root as book, right? So Sefer is a book. A sofer is a scribe. Yep. And Vaisaper means to tell, right? To tell, right? So then Haman told, Lazeresh. So this is just a name. To Zeresh, Ishto. I mean, this is her name. Her name is Zeresh, Ishto, his wife. That's right. Ulechol Ohavav. What's Ulechol mean? Ulechol. Yep. Ohavav.
Ohavav. Ohav. 10.
What's Ahav? What's Ahav? Or Ahava? You know Ahava?
Love.
Yeah, that's right. So Ohev would be someone who loves him, right? So, and it's an active participle. It's a synonym for friend, right? So Ohavav is his friends, right? To all of his friends. Et kol asher karahu.
All which
Yep.
he called.
Oh, nope, that's with an aleph. This is with a hey. Look, it sounds the same, but it's with a hey. Yeah, kara. So kara with a hey means to happen, right? So all which karahu, all which happened to him. So the first hey from the verb falls away, and then this who is the pronominal suffix. So kara, which happened, who to him. Vayomru.
And they said
Lo.
to him,
Chachamaiv.
Kakama, wisdom, kakam.
Okay,
Is
so
wisdom.
chokhmah is wisdom. A chacham is a wise man, right?
Wise man.
So chachamaiv means what?
There was
His wise men. Yeah, but I read a commentary in the Yale commentary. I can't remember who the author is. They said that that this might have meant also a synonym for friends, right? That was used maybe in Persia, right? So anyway, so we'll consider it his wise men. We'll be literal. Vezeresh, so that's a name. That's her name. Ishto. So his wise men and Zeresh's wife, Vayomru, they said to him. Now this is what they're saying. This is in quotes. Im mizerah Yehudi Mordechai. Im, what's im? If mi zera. What's that mean?
Mitzera.
Me. What's me mean? Me. What's me? Me. From
From
zera.
seed.
Yup. HaYehudim.
The Jews.
Yup. Mordechai.
Good.
Which, so they're saying. So this whole part here. Im mizerah HaYehudim Mordechai. If Mordechai is from the seed of the Jews, Asher. Hachilota.
Which hakalot.
So this is kind of hard. This one's kind of hard. Yeah. So this is hachilota. It's from the verb halal. It's in the hiphil. Okay. So this can mean different things. It can mean to profane, or it can mean to begin. Right. So which you've started, right? Which you've started, or which you've profaned, right? Linpol.
To.
Yeah. To what? To
Cause. Fall.
To fall, right? To fall. Lifanai.
Fall. Before he. Before
Good.
me.
Before him.
Not.
Lo tuchal. So I don't think you guys know this word. Do you know this? The verb is yachal. Yod kaf lamed. Yachal. And so this is a passive form of it, right? So tuchal, so you will not be able, is what it's saying, right? You will not be able.
Able.
Lo.
You'll not be able to him.
Yep.
No.
And this
To
is the way that
him.
that's right. And so this is the way that Hebrew expresses to win, right? So it just says one person is able to him, to them. Yeah, this nation was able to the other nation. That's how they say they were able to beat them, right? So you will not be able to beat him. Ki
Because
nafol tipol lefanaiv. Nafol
Because he
tipol.
he fell before you.
Nope. What is tipol? What form is that? Perfect or imperfect?
Imperfect.
Exactly. It's imperfect. Imperfect. So we're going to translate as future right now, okay? So tipol means you will fall, okay? And the nafol, this is a infinitive absolute of the niphal. So it's saying, so for definitely tipol, you will fall. Indeed, you will fall.
You will fall
Lefanaiv.
before
Before him.
before us.
Before him.
him.
Before him. Yep. And then our very last verse. Who was it that wanted to read before? You can go and read verse 14.
Okay, I'll go. Odam. Medaberim. Imo. Vesarisei. Hamelech. Higeyu. Vayav hilu. Lehavi. Et. Haman. El. Hamishte. Asher. Aseta. Esther.
Excellent. Very good. Good reading. Okay, so Odam. Odam. What's Odam? You know what Od means?
God.
All the more.
Maybe,
No.
but let's be more simple. Od. What's the gloss for Od? Od. Od. It's one of your vocab words.
At the time.
Nope. That'd be Bazman. Od. Od. Od means still. Still.
Still. Okay,
Still.
yeah.
Like still meaning yet.
Yes.
Yet or still, like that. Not still
Yes.
meaning not moving, but okay. So yet or still Odam. So Odam. The mem at the end means still they, right? That's the inseparable suffix, right? Okay.
Okay.
I mean pronominal suffix. Oh, sorry, I'm tired. Odam. Still they medaberim.
Talking, speaking.
Yeah, still they were speaking. Imo.
With you. With him.
Good, with him. The sarisei hamelech higiu. So this vav is probably going to mean when, right? Because we're talking about time now. Still tells us this is probably a when. Still, they were speaking with him when sarisei hamelech. What's that? Sarisei hamelech.
When the
The
king.
did you say eunuch?
And the princess of
Princess?
Not princes. That'd be different. This is like officials, right? The officials or the eunuchs. Of,
Nobles.
The
Melech.
eunuch.
Eunuchs.
Eunuch.
Yeah, it can be eunuchs. That's right. Of the king.
Eunuchs of the king.
Higiu. So this is from the verb naga, to reach or to touch, and so he feel like they succeeded. They reached him, right? They reached him.
Oh,
Vayav hilu. Vayav hilu.
and they
Yup. Vayav hilu. They
they
what?
have. Don't
So-
know this word.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. So bahal means to be terrified. Okay, and this is hiphil binyan. So and they terrified.
He will
The idea is they terrified lehavi.
heart.
No,
Their heart.
not levav. Le
Uh-huh.
havi.
Havi.
Havi. What
Father.
no. Havi is from ba. Ba. What's ba mean?
Come
Okay, good. What binyan is this from come?
to come to me.
No, this is what binyan is this? What's the binyan? What's the binyan?
To come to me.
No, there's no suffix for me on here. See the yod before the aleph and see the hey at the beginning? This tells us it's hiphil, right?
hiphil,
Yeah, hiphil, yep. So lehavi means what?
cause to come.
Right? That's correct. What's a better way to say that in English? To cause to come, we can make it shorter.
Bring.
To bring,
King.
yeah, to bring. Yep. You're right with to cause to come. It's just kind of wordy, right? So to bring et Haman,
To bring Haman
yeah,
to
Amen.
el hamishte.
the
Yep.
mishte. To the
Tagalog.
to the
No. Good guess, though.
we know
Good
the
guess.
story.
Good guess. Good guess.
Not yet.
Not yet.
To the square. No.
That's rakhav. Okay, this is the feast. Mishte is a feast, right? With hints about drinking. It's a feast where there's drinking. Asher,
Is which
asata,
made
yep,
Made.
Esther.
Esther.
Yep, which Esther made.
Which
Yeah,
Esther
you did
made.
it. Woo, we did a whole chapter, chapter 6. Woohoo! Okay,
Wow.
so we went a bit longer. So I hope that didn't
you.
mess any of you guys up that we went a bit longer. But great. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
you're very welcome, guys. I will post this as a student edition for chapter 6. And then I'll take a little bit of a break. And then hopefully I'll get the last 3 chapters out. 7, 8, 9. Oh, the last 4 chapters out. Okay, guys. Shabbat Shalom coming up.
Thank you so much.
You're
Shabbat
very
Thank
shalom.
you.
Good job.
Thank you.
And happy
you.
Purim. Happy Shushan Purim. Purim
Yes,
Shushan.
happy Purim.
Yeah.
Happy Purim.
All right. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.